champions!
Hello, welcome into our special show today. Murray, Gabby Amado. We are reacting to the Champions League draw. Now we know that you guys have just sat through that draw. We did too.
We did.
It's a bit boring.
We had a lot of fun with it.
We did, because it's always a little bit stuffy to see these draws. Everyone's doing their best, but you know, how glam really can you make a Champions League draw? So we've decided to have a bit of fun with it. We hope you're going to have fun with it too at home. And we do ask you guys to get in touch. How can they do that, Gabby?
Comments below, and we're going to read them loud. They magically appear on our screen here, and we'll be asking you guys to give your opinions throughout the show. The real question is, what's the group of death? So we have our answers. We'll give it to you in a couple minutes, but you guys comment below what your group of death is, and we'll see if it correlates with ours.
It's dividing opinion here at beIN Sports. There are three groups. You may have seen even on our Twitter feed that there are three groups that keep coming up on the group of death. Group B, Group C and Group H. Do you agree? Do you think it's one of them? Do you think it's another one? Let us know and we'll read out what you think, and let us know what you think of some of the groups, but we're going to get into them. We're going to start with Group A.
So what we've done is we've given a little nickname to each of the groups, because as we were watching it, we're like, things started to come to our minds. And so Group A, the first one was Atletico Madrid. Then they called Dortmund. So those obviously have a little something in common. Then the third was Monaco, and we instantly thought, hipster group. So Bruges rounds off that group, and this is absolutely the hipster group.
It is the group of hipster, Group A. Now, there's an interesting number of things in this group, as with all of them. Atleti in particular, with what we've seen from them in recent years, and the fact that the final is going to be at the Wanda Metropolitano.
Yes. No pressure, guys. No pressure.
Well, their president has actually said that is the aim, that is the reto this season, to make sure that we make the final. But if they make the final, they need to go on better this time in the Champions League and actually win that final.
Obviously, a disappointing performance last year. They were knocked out at the group stage, went on to win the Europa League, but that really was a shocker to everyone, to us at beIN Sports here, and to them, I'm sure, as well, and their fan base. And so they're definitely looking to not only make it out of the group, but make it all the way and book their ticket and their home to that final. But it's not going to be easy. Dortmund and Monaco are not going to make it easy at all.
No, and Dortmund need to make sure they actually get out of the group this time around as well. They've got a new coach in. They finished 4th in the Bundesliga last year. So it's actually, there's a few that are a group of life as well, and I'd say that this is probably one of them too. Monaco, now we've seen that they caused quite a splash in the Champions League a couple of seasons back, but they did have Mbappe in the ranks then.
Right, and now they're kind of missing that. But Pietro Pelé, we've seen a lot of players step up to that plate, and Monaco has been home to birthing some of the best stars. A lot of born on beIN stars have come from Monaco. You know, they have Ronnie Lopes, and they have a really good star-studded squad, a young squad, and I think we'll see them do well again under Leonardo Jardim, Mr. Gardens.
The queen, our scout of Born on beIN.
Yes.
This is the lady who scouts that talent and tells you all about them in a way that only she can here on beIN Sports.
With proper Portuguese pronunciation.
As you just heard. So tell us how to do Ronnie Lopes.
Ronnie Lopes. You nailed it. Yes, and Leonardo Jardim.
Leonardo Jardim.
And Jardim means garden, so we call him Lenny Gardens.
Lenny Gardens.
Here at beIN Sports.
So that's the hipster group.
Hipster.
Group B, group of chip on shoulder.
Major pressure on this group. We talk about pressure on Atletico Madrid, but this is really the group of pressure. These are the four teams that really have to step up, and they have a lot to prove. Barcelona, Tottenham, PSV, and Inter round off Group B.
Yes, Barcelona eliminated at the quarters for 3 seasons running. Now, for many, they're not the favourites with the bookmakers, but they are second favourites with many bookmakers across Europe, along with another team, which we'll get to in a minute. The favourites right now are Man City, so we'll talk about them in just a little while. But everything seems to be coming together for Barca this season. Ernesto Valverde in another year. They won the domestic double last year. They've signed really well. They've got the depth they need now, because that was one of the problems many were talking about last year, is that he kept playing the same team over and over again because he didn't know if he could trust his reinforcements. And now he will be able to rotate more if he finds where the team fits. That's not going to be the easiest of jobs for him, though. You know, making it fit, it's almost like a game of Tetris.
It is, and with a lot of options. And I think that was one of his missions this summer, was to make sure that he had the depth to compete across all the whole board, and he did. Let's hit this comment real quick, because the Daddy and Tori show. Interesting name there.
No, but I think that's Daddy and that's Tori in the picture with Daddy.
Oh my God.
We like that.
Oh, so cute. You're right. FC Barcelona this year for sure. So you think that they're not only going to top the group, but they're going to make it all the way to the Wanda.
Yeah. And that would be an interesting one as well. There are many people that think this could be Barca's year. It's been a little bit of a while. I think most recently it was the 14-15 season that they last won it. But they're up against Spurs. And when we say group with chip on the shoulder, it's because of how Barcelona have come out in recent seasons. Whereas Spurs, we know there's a crux of talent there. We know there's a great manager. But we keep hearing about no silverware for Spurs, no silverware for Spurs.
And they're a team that gave Real Madrid a run for their money in the group stage last season. They beat Real Madrid and they drew the second match, so they topped their group last season. And they're a team that a lot of their players played together for England. So they've been playing together all summer long.
A lot of time. They've been in a tournament with high pressure. They know what it's like to be in a tournament phase now. As you mentioned, they had that group stage high points as well. So they will feel that they've also got something to prove. PSV also getting in this group. And Inter are really interesting right now because Inter have had a slow start to the Serie A season. It's not been a great start for them at all. They've come up against two teams that they've not done well against historically. It hasn't turned out too well for them. But right now, Spalletti's having to deal with new players coming in. You know, he's eventually going to start to get the best out of those. There've been players in the World Cup, so they're still too tired to be playing straight away. So he's had to deal with some few early bumps in the road, but you would think that by the time the Champions League comes around, it might just be the good time that Inter are starting to find their feet. So that's why they'll be one to watch, but also a team with a bit of a chip on their shoulder because it hasn't been the success since 2010.
Under certain Jose Mourinho. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Michael Garcia saying Group B is the group of death. So, Michael, we actually listed this group as our group of death also, but then after speaking to some of our colleagues, they swayed us a different way. But yes, so Group B for you, Michael, is our group of death.
And just to say, one of our colleagues said, and it's a good call, that whoever does come out of this group and doesn't get through the group will probably go on to win the Europa League, which is
It is. But I actually think that may happen in the next group, Group C. I think whoever comes third in this group may win the Europa League. So this one we're calling Group Carleto for Carlo Ancelotti. For those of you that don't know, there's a chant that goes, Baja las cejas, baja las cejas, Carleto. And that's because of Carlo Ancelotti's infamous eyebrows. So this group is going to have him raising eyebrows because there's a lot of Ancelotti connection. So PSG, Napoli, Liverpool, and Red Star Belgrade are in this group. Ancelotti obviously was the manager of PSG back in the day. He's now manager of Napoli, and he has a little grudge against a Liverpool side.
Yeah, which he did manage to get his revenge in that Liverpool team.
Yes.
You may remember that Liverpool were beaten by Milan in that famous 2005 final, despite going into half-time with a 3-0 lead. Carlo Ancelotti in the dugout then, but also in the dugout 2 years later when they did manage to get their revenge in the same final, Liverpool against Milan. So there's another link there. One to look out for is it is not going to be any type of cakewalk going to have to play against Red Star Belgrade, especially in the group stages when you get these fixtures in the depth of winter. But Napoli interesting under Carletto because let's not forget the pedigree that he has got in the Champions League. He's won it as a player, he's won it as a coach more times than one as well, and he's got a little bit more tactical flexibility than the likes of someone like Maurizio Sarri would have had with the Napoli side. So that's why, with that experience that he brings and that flexibility, Napoli could be one to watch this year.
A little bit of trivia for you. Do you know how many UCL teams Ancelotti has managed?
I don't.
I was shocked. I had not realized that it was this many, but Napoli will be his 8th.
Wow.
Yes. So his first was Parma.
Earning those stripes.
Then Juve, Milan, Chelsea, PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern, and now Napoli. So this is an experienced manager.
Oh, absolutely it is. He knows all about winning this one. The other thing is, when are PSG going to get a break?
They're like, again? Really? Us?
They've got to face all the big teams when it comes through the groups. They get through the groups and they get the most difficult the draws. Yes, we know that they've got a lot of money, they've got amazing players, they've got Kylian Mbappe.
But you need a little bit of luck too.
Of course, you need a little bit of luck, and they haven't always had the rub of the green. And now you look at this group, which for others, this is the group of death, Group C, the group of Carletto, it is here on our show. But you do wonder if PSG are going to get a bit of luck go their way.
Absolutely. And Leo Sanjaya saying Group B and Group C mouth-watering fixtures are coming. And those fixtures are going to be released in 2 hours' time. That was said during the draw. So we'll know exactly what fixtures will be played when in a couple hours.
And times are changing, you were telling me.
Yes, they are. Yes. So as we know, Champions League time was always 2:45 Eastern time. And now it is changing. There will be kickoffs at 12:55 and then other ones at 3. So more Champions League for all of us to watch. No one's complaining.
After 3, we're going to tell you what we've called Group D. We're going to call it the 1, 2, 3 group of meh. There's always a group of meh. And we're sorry to Lokomotiv and Porto and Schalke and Galatasaray, but this is just not one that, like Leo said, has our mouths watering.
There was a comment on Twitter that was like, how did this group even happen? And we're kind of asking the same thing. How did this happen? But with a group of meh comes, and as you said, a group of life. Yes. There's really a whole world of possibility. Anyone can make it out of this group, and I think that's kind of the beauty of a group of meh.
A group of meh. Yeah, Lokomotiv, the Russian Premier League champions, they've got an older coach, and last season they were excellent defensively, so that's something to look out for in this group. They could be keeping it tight at the back. Porto from your native land.
Porto, yes. They were the last team out of the top 4 leagues to win the Europa League. I mean, the Champions League back in, when was it? 04. Yes.
Under
Jose Mourinho.
Another Jose Mourinho Champions League winning team.
So, yes. I mean, they're obviously one of the strongest teams coming out of Portugal. I would say the strongest team right now. Definitely stronger than the Benfica side, which we'll get into a little bit later. And Sporting didn't qualify for the Champions League, and that's my club, so I'm crying. But no, Porto definitely one to watch as always. Sergio Conceição, really strong coach. So I think they will top this group, and Galatasaray will come second. That's my prediction.
Yeah, Galatasaray, obviously we carry the Turkish Super League here on beIN Sports, and one thing we can always tell you about that league is don't miss it, because there's always goals, there's always excitement, there's a lot of parity as well. You saw how tight it was last year. Galatasaray, the holders of the Turkish Super League, so they could be a bit of a force to be reckoned with.
And the greatest celebration in all of football.
Yes.
Buffeting gomis.
Yes.
I won't demonstrate, but we'll just do it like this and keep it PSG. We keep it PG, keep it PSG.
Like it.
That's a thing, guys. So moving on, Group E, we call this the ABBA group. It's a pretty basic why we call it ABBA. Bayern, Benfica, Ajax, and AEK Athens spells ABBA.
A, winner takes it all. There
Correct.
are so many puns with this one, but we couldn't think of a great group name. We think ABBA's all right, but if you know a better one, let us know.
Please let us know. At first we thought that this was going to be the hipster group because of Benfica and Ajax being super hipster, but then it just didn't feel right, and we went with ABBA. Ooh. Dembele, MMJ 23 plays. We missed this group back in I guess in Group B, but Dembele time to shine in the Champions League. Maybe it will be his time to shine.
It's definitely stepping up this season already for Barcelona. So if that is a sign of what's to come, then it looks as though this could be the time for him. Definitely high on Barcelona this year in the Champions League, I have to say.
But this group, I mean, Group E, there is storylines to watch. Benfica lost every single one of their group stage matches last year, so they'll be looking to redeem themselves in this time around. And then this Ajax side is a really exciting young one.
Yeah, it is. There's always the young players that you do see coming through with Ajax. I know that our Kevin Egan is very high on this Ajax team. And they've been making, a lot of waves. They're back in this tournament for the first time in, I think it's 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one to look out for. Ajax, obviously, so much history there. And, the Born on beIN Scout likes to check out the new talent that's coming through.
I do, so I'll keep my eye on Ajax.
We will.
So next up, Group F.
Group F, we're calling this the group of Man City +1. Who joins Pep and the boys in the round of 16 party? Basically, it's Man City plus one other. That's what we're going out on a limb to say.
Yes, exactly. But Man City will be very happy with this group placement. Do you want to know why?
Tell me why.
Because 40% of the past winners since 2003, 2004 have come from Group F. Oh. So this is a sign. Is this going to be Man City's year?
Oh, well, interesting, because just right now, and obviously it can change, and this was before any groups had been drawn or anything, this morning, some of the top bookmakers in Europe had gone, every single one of them had gone with Man City as favourites. And we know you've been watching All or Nothing at home.
Because we have.
We've been loving it. Guys, come around.
You have to focus.
No bad faces around here, please. No bad faces.
We could do this literally the entire show, so we'll stop now or else we won't be able to get out of it.
I don't think there would have been any bad faces when he saw the rest of the group. Although Lyon,
keep an eye on.
We like Lyon here.
Although They did lose Mariano, so a piece to their little trident up
Real
front
Madrid's
is
number 7.
Guys, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so they did lose a key piece to their attack. But I do love this Lyon side. Nabil Fekir, Memphis Depay, both great players, had an outstanding season last season. Is that one? Yes, another born on beIN. So,
and Sheikh Alexander says, Man City, let's go, Pep. I know we're all big Pep fans right now,
the thing is, because after that documentary, you feel like you know them. And you lived their Champions League experience last year with them. And don't you remember him being like, Salah es bueno, Sané es bueno, Firmino es bueno, naming all the players from Liverpool. It's like he knew, he sensed that this was going to be a tough feat. And I think he'll be relaxed in this moment after this group.
It's slowly happening season by season with Pep Guardiola and Man City. It was always going to be a long-term project. They were always going to let him put his stamp on it, take his time to get his team. And we're now seeing that, obviously, all the records that they broke in the Premier League last year. But they do need to step it up in Europe. I think that's been one of the funny, and probably not funny for Pep Guardiola, but one of the funny things that we've all been giggling at work is his stress over the season. With
here,
Liverpool.
always.
Sometimes he's in another game and he's like, oh my goodness, Liverpool, they're so good up top. So don't worry, Pep.
No.
You can't face Liverpool at this stage anyway.
And Hoffenheim is an exciting story. They're the debutantes, so that's always exciting and great to see.
So Man City +1, we're saying in that group.
Yes.
If any of you disagree with us, we'd like to hear why.
Yeah, let us know.
Group G.
G's up. This is the capital group. This group we're calling the Hunger Games. And yeah, well, this is the capital group. Real Madrid, capital. Roma, capital. Moscow, capital. And we're saying, what's the twist on the last one?
What we're actually saying with Victoria Plzen is that she volunteers herself as tribute.
She's Katniss Everdeen.
She's Katniss Everdeen. She's going to go and fight all these big boys in Real Madrid, Roma, CSKA Moscow.
Outside of the capital.
Yeah, the outlier outside of the capital. But the rest of them, obviously, capital cities that we're seeing. The Colosseum, the White Colosseum, the Bernabeu at Real Madrid. In Madrid, Roma with the actual Colosseum.
Yeah.
And obviously Roma, who really did shock a lot of people last year and actually shut a lot of people up as well.
Absolutely.
Now they've got Monchi in. He's already been getting all those signings in. They are ready to rock and roll once again. Real Madrid, the big interesting story here. 3 times back to back winners coming into this.
Can they do it again?
Can they do it again? And there's a feeling among so many that they're not even going to be in, okay, let's not talk groups, but when you look at the favourites right now, they're like down 4th, 5th.
Oh yeah, with the bookies that you referenced, they are 5th behind Juve. So it goes City, Juve, Barcelona, PSG, and then Madrid, according to the bookies. But yeah, I mean, this is a Real Madrid side under Lopetegui. We'll see what he does. He's never made it past the quarterfinals.
He's got, this is a Real Madrid with no Zidane, with no Cristiano Ronaldo.
With a new number 7, as you mentioned, who is Mariano Diaz, who just came from Lyon, was handed the number 7 jersey, in case all of you guys missed that piece of news. So watch out for the new number 7 in the Champions League.
Yeah, look out for that one. You know, what's in a number? Is that too much of a pressure to give someone the number 7, or is it just a number on someone's back? It's a big topic that we're going to be talking about across our shows here. But Real Madrid, very interesting right now, because early signs in the season, obviously there's still a bit of leveling out and ironing out to do, but many of the players and many of the pundits, players very happy with the fact that they're playing as a collective, as a team. The pundits saying, well, maybe this could be a bit more of an entertaining Real Madrid this year, but Champions League, I mean, it's a big ask. And even, I mean, to do it twice was to do it 3 times, was to do it 4 times. With all those changes, I'm not sure.
Interestingly enough, the past 2 seasons that obviously Real Madrid won the Champions League, they finished 2nd in their group. So even if Roma do end up taking this group, or one of the other capital cities in the Hunger Games take it, maybe finishing 2nd won't be so bad, and it's kind of paved the way to success for Madrid.
Yeah, Roma the Barca slayers. So if this was like Hunger Games 3, that's what would have happened last time around. Yeah, Monchi doing his work, and also their coach, Eusebio Di Francesco, able to switch his tactics up like we were talking about earlier on with Ancelotti. And so Roma must be feared in this competition, as we saw last time around. Dun, dun, dun.
And last but not least,
Group H, which is the group of headlines, fittingly with the H, because there are so many storylines coming out of this group. So let's start with the first and funniest one, the young boys against the old lady.
This was a case special. We were in the room, and she was like, please let the young boys go to Group H. And I didn't even know why, but I was just in support of it. And then it happened. So we're calling this one the Mrs. Robinson Derby. So there's one storyline. We can already see the headlines in the tabloids, in the red tops in England. We know what you're going to be going with there. Yes.
But
then
so
next.
many more storylines.
So Juve was the first, then come Man United. And obviously the big connection, Ronaldo, who just went to Juventus playing against his former Manchester United.
Yeah.
An amazing story. And a Mourinho, Ronaldo link up. We know that they had some tension at Real Madrid, so it's always interesting to see them come together again.
Max Allegri, 2 finals, that dramatic exit to Real Madrid that, you know, he must still go to bed at night sometimes and be thinking, what if? They keep coming closer. They keep knocking on the door to Juve, and now they're focusing on the short term. They've got Cristiano Ronaldo. They've brought Bonucci back. It does look as though they will be a big force in the Champions League this year. There's another little Portuguese link up as well.
Yes, because Valencia is the third team in this group, and Gonçalo Guedes, who's just returned to Valencia, was bought permanently by Valencia from PSG, and Gonçalo Guedes obviously went to the World Cup, played with Ronaldo. A lot of Portuguese link up. We were going to call this group the Portuguese Connection, and then we came up with the headlines because there's just so many when the young boys came along.
Yeah, I know they did. And you just heard there the correct pronunciation of Gonçalo
Guedes.
All right, so Rafinha, Latvetsy, Juve versus Man United, a chance for the world to see Ronaldo at yet another team making history.
And I think this was ultimately one of his dreams, was to win the Champions League again with another club in another league, and I think he's going to be hungry for it.
Yeah,
Kashab saying, United losing to young boys at home, I'm betting my money on that.
We do not condone betting, but that is a good shout, Kashab.
Although we are talking about the bookies.
We're just telling you who the favourites are.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But I mean, it's interesting. I would love to hear what people think about United in this group, because I think a lot of people are feeling like Keshab, that they're not going to do maybe what Mourinho wants them to do in a tough group. This is not easy.
Stunned by Sevilla in the round of 16 last time. They don't want to be second fiddle in Manchester anymore, with Manchester City winning the Premier League last season. It's an interesting time. I know,
not at all.
Is Mourinho going to be there when the Champions League starts?
Do you think not?
I think so.
I think so also.
But it is a
I mean,
question
that would
that's
be
being
a
asked.
drama-filled move at the final hour. Although I do think a lot of Red Devils fans are hoping that happens. I'm not buying into the Mourinho train any longer. But yes.
So there are groups, and let us know, as we were asking at the very beginning, what do you think the group of death is? Is it B? Is it C? Is it H? Because it's dividing opinion right now, so you need to tell us what you think it is.
Yes.
Individual awards. Let's first of all go ladies first. Pernille Harder from Wolfsburg won the FIFA Women's Player of the Year award.
She
Danish
did.
25-year-old. And one thing she'd said that I absolutely loved was she said, where I grew up, it was always accepted that you play with the boys. It wasn't a big deal. So she was always playing with the boys when
That's
she was
amazing.
younger.
I love
and
that.
Now she's mixing with the boys at the best of it and winning big awards here as well. So congratulations to her.
And the men's player of the year was, drumroll, Luka Modric won that. Ronaldo was not at the awards ceremony. We
Where
read
was he?
mixed reports that maybe he was running a little late, or we're not sure if he never planned to go.
Maybe someone texted him and said, you're not going to win the Player of the Year award.
So
and
he said,
said,
skirt.
turns around, decided not to go. No, we're not actually sure. Maybe by the time we come off air, we'll have found out more information on the no-show of Cristiano.
So interestingly enough, did you know that the defender, midfielder, and forward winners were the exact same as last year?
Oh, really?
Yes, it was Ramos for defender, Modric for midfielder, and Ronaldo as a forward. So they were the same.
Very nice.
The only one that changed was the keeper, who Keylor Navas,
Keylor
King
Navas.
Navas,
Oh, here
took
we
the
go.
win there.
Here we
Okay.
go.
Jackpot in the comments section. So I
Ajit.
guess this is a poll on what the group of death is. Let's
Right.
take a tally. So one vote. Ajit Kumar saying definitely B.
Kagri, I think you're having a bit of fun here saying that group D.
Our group of meh.
That's our group of
Cheeky.
But it could be a group of death for those, isn't it? Because maybe it's a bit more balanced.
More B. Elijah Emmanuel saying B. MMJ 23 Plays saying B as well. Oh, MMG 23 Plays also thinks that this is the transfer tracker. No, Barcelona needs Rabiot for
welcome
squad
it.
depth.
We welcome
Yes, you're absolutely right. Rabiot does want to go too.
John Aish, hashtag Ala Madrid, says don't sleep on Valencia. We won't. Because they've had a bit of a slow start, as we were talking about with Inter, but we know that Marcelino steadied the ship. We know they've signed well. So we won't sleep on Valencia, we promise you.
And they just got their Gonzalo Guedes back, which is a big P.
Gonzalo Guedes back. Say that as if you've got like a mouthful of sweets or something.
Just don't open your mouth and you'll
tea.
get it. Elijah Emmanuel back saying old lady versus young boys. He liked your joke.
We like that one, Elijah.
Thanks, Elijah.
Anybody who laughs at my jokes is my favorite person.
Boy saying Real Madrid winning that easy group, huh? Don't sleep on Roma, though. Just like we're telling people not to sleep on Valencia and Inter, do not sleep on Roma.
Do you think John Ice, hashtag Ala Madrid's a Madrid fan?
Maybe?
I think you are. John says best defender Madrid, best midfielder Madrid, best forward Madrid, best player Madrid. So Luka Modric.
Mic dropping on YouTube right now?
Yes, let's talk a little bit about Luka Modric. Isn't it so funny? Luka Modric comes to Real Madrid, and within just a couple of months, a Spanish newspaper, whose name I won't say right now, Marca, decided that he was the worst signing of the season. So early on back then, this is Luka Modric now, since he's come, those 4 Champions Leagues have come with him in 5 years.
A World Cup final.
Golden Ball, best player in the World Cup.
Casual.
And the great thing with Luka Modric is with so many of the other players, with Salah and with Cristiano, we can give stats until they come out of our ears that sound so impressive, and they are impressive because they demonstrate these amazing players. With Luka Modric, unless you go really deep into stats and start looking at passes, it's not about that with Luka Modric. It's about everything that he brings to the game, the influence he has, how he links midfield with attack, his vision, his technique, how calm he is, how composed he is on the ball. And you feel that getting up there at his age now, this was the perfect time for him to win it because he might not get another chance.
And I felt like even he was kind of surprised that he had won it. When he was on the stage, he was just like taking it all in. And we never thought that the Messi versus Ronaldo era was going to come to an end. And maybe this is kind of that ending a little bit.
Okay, so if we're going to do predictions, do we predict who's, right, we could predict who's going to win the whole thing. We can go with the kind of bookie way. But we could also take a look through our groups and remind everyone of our group names and say which 2 teams we think are going to get out of the group, right?
So, sure. So Group A, the hipster group. I am saying Atletico Madrid and Monaco.
Okay, the group of hipster, Atletico Madrid and Monaco. Right. So just to make it, just to mix it up a bit then, and I really like Monaco, but I'm going to go for Atleti and Dortmund.
Okay.
Group B, group of chip on the shoulder. Well, this is tight, but because of what Spurs did last year, and because I've just already said that Barca are one of my favourites, I will go for Barca and Spurs, the top 2.
I'm going to have to do the same. I was going to say maybe Spurs can do it again, but not against this deep Barcelona side. No, Barcelona, Spurs, 1-2. So Group C, group of Carleto.
This is really hard.
I'm going to go Liverpool, PSG. Sorry, Carleto. We named the whole group after you, but you're not making it out of it.
Oh my goodness, I don't know who to go for. Group C. All right, I'm going to put PSG for sure.
For number 1?
Yes.
Oh.
All right, then, just to be different, I'll go for Napoli.
Okay.
Sorry, Liverpool fans. Sorry.
So the Group D, the group of meh, I'll go Galatasaray and then Porto, maybe. I'll change my mind and won't have Porto win the group.
Okay, well then I'll just mix it up because it's meh and make it at least a bit more exciting and go for Lokomotiv and Schalke.
Ooh! So Group E, the ABBA group.
Bayern and Ajax. Sorry, Gab.
And I can't pick Benfica because they're our crosstown rivals. So I'll pick AEK Athens over Benfica any day.
There you go. You're sporting, aren't you?
Yeah,
Sorry.
we can't even.
Sorry for one minute thinking you were Benfica.
Don't stress me
We're
out,
still
okay?
friends.
Group F, City +1. I'm going to go City. I'm going to go crazy and go Hoffenheim. City, Hoffenheim.
City, Lyon.
Ooh,
We love you, Jean-Michel
We
Aulas.
do, we do. Group G, Capital Group.
All right. Katniss Everdeen's not coming out of this one
No,
alive.
sorry.
I'm sorry, Victoria Plzen. Real Madrid, Roma, but maybe, no, Real Madrid, Roma in that order.
So Real Madrid are I'll go Roma top the group and Real Madrid second. And then last but not least, Group H, the group of headlines. This is, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say Manchester United can turn things around and they're going to get through it with Juventus.
Wow. Okay, I'll go Juventus to top the group, and I'm going to say Valencia are going to do it. And United and Mourinho are hitting the door on the way out. Hot take, someone upstairs did predict Man United to win the Champions League this season as a
Champions
super hot
League.
take. So some people do believe out there. If that's hard to believe for you guys, it is still a possibility.
What do you guys think about Man City being favourite? That's what we'd like to hear if you've got any more comments just now, because we're about to wrap things up. But Man City seem to be the favourites, as we were saying before the draw, with a lot of the bookmakers, and that has actually surprised some.
It kind of surprises me. I would think that Juve would be the favorites just after the summer that they've had, and adding Ronaldo is pretty much a key piece to Champions League success. I thought that if City were going to do it, maybe it was going to be last season when they were just on a steamrolling mission. But maybe it was just too much too soon for City, and now after, like 2 seasons under his belt, he's going to do it.
And that's the interesting thing with the second place. Bookmakers are switching up between Juve and Barcelona after Man City is their favourites. Listen, thank you for joining us.
Boom.
Yeah.
Let us know which of the group names you think is best. Mine that we came up with is a hipster group.
The group
it
of
just feels
hipster.
nice. They wear loafers without socks.
They do. They drink craft beer.
And they read books at halftime.
Yeah, not in a big coffee brand chain.
No,
Usually
little
in a
one, like the
hipster little
corner
coffee
one
shop.
that's like you barely even notice it's there.
Yeah, with like artisanal lattes. Anyway.
So that feels nice. So we'll leave you with that note. Enjoy the Champions League. We'll be back with more, I'm sure.
See